Hey people, Indrid here, welcome back to the Elite League show. Kicking us off here on Outer Reaches. Say hello again to Zevargale as a war boss. Melee hero that can walk through objects, very good offense, disruption and support from the front lines, already breaking everything in sight. They have these funny hats on, these blood axes. How do they stay on the head? We may never know. Up against on the red side is Yay, with a Ravener Alpha tunneling hero with great mobility, awesome offense, and a bit of support too. Begins in range combat but can get melee weapons. And one of his melee weapons was buffed in 2.8, so maybe we'll see it. The Acid Splatter. Talking of melee weapons, the War Boss's Bang Bang Hammer was buffed, although it did go up in cost also. His default sidearm reduced in range too, so might not be able to shoot up the little Tyranids quite as effectively as he chases them around. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Double Termagants up, we have double Shooter Boys up, and I think we're going to see a fight kick off in the middle at some point. Hormagaunts might be able to get a nice flank. Warboss is busy capping, but he might get in there in time for a nice stomp. Ravener can really pack a punch with his weapons. We'll see it here. Open fight on the Shooter Boys. They're having to back off. Sluggers are moving in. They're not waiting for the Warboss here. They're going to take a fair bit of damage as they go in, but they are going to buy some time for the Shooter Boys to maybe pick off some models. It's an inefficient engagement for both players maybe. Hormagaunts are going to get caught by the Warboss and can get a nice stomp on those guys. Leaves the stomp a little bit late, but still hits it pretty good. Sluggers did some good work there. And Hormagaunts dealt with. You see the Warboss just cleaving through them with his giant axe. Ravener Alpha, did you actually kill a model, Mr. Ravener, off these guys? You did not. Now trying to force close combat on those fellas so they can't shoot those shooters. Warboss is angry. That's a special attack which misses everything. Yeah, he's tying those guys up. Getting some special attacks of his own. Termagants did drop a model there. And another one. Ouch. Shooter Boy's now getting cleaved in half by this Ravener Alpha here. Looters on the way for Orcs. And a Ravener Brood for Yay. Those guys got a slight cost reduction in 2.8 down to 40 power from 45, I believe. Hormagaunts don't really want to engage this fella because of his stomp. Try and bait it out, I guess. That was a special attack, not a stomp. And these Termagants are being terrorized here. Another one goes down. Great work from the War Boss early on, allowing the other Orcs to maybe get some capping done. These guys are getting their burners up. Are they going for power early? It's here with the node. Yep, they're going to burn it down. Oh no, they turn around. Maybe? Indecisive Orcs, there we go. Put them into their ranged stance so they can use their burners. Warboss now in retreat. He can walk over these tunnel entrances and exits to get rid of them quickly. Here's the Ravener Brood. These days they start off with their ranged Devourers. Pretty damn dangerous, especially when combined, of course, with ranged Synapse in Tier 2 and the Synapse aura for damage from the Ravener Alpha himself. Looters doing their best, but they're going to get Burrow Strike. There it is. Awesome ability. Sluggers taking a lot of damage as they close. Shooter Boys barely getting away. Hormagaunts in there too. Good engagement for Yay, it looks like. We've got some big shooters in play, suppressing some of the smaller Tyranids in the back line. Raveners have not kept up on those looters in melee, so they are able to set up again. And I'm guessing the cooldown on their Burrow Strike is relatively long, or they would have done it. Where's that Warboss at? Here he is. He's not happy. Looks like he's going to make it to those looters to support them, maybe. Oh, they drop a model, and there's the Burrow Strike. They are off the field. Ravener's very low, despite not dropping a model yet. There's that ranged firepower of the Warboss, though, coming to bear. And a nice special attack, too. Now cleaving through some Termagants. Really does seem to kill these Tyranids with one hit if he can get a hit. Does attack very slow to the Warboss, but it's a big chunk of damage when he gets it off. Oh, that was crippling poison. Oh, Slugger's caught the Hormagaunts sleeping and gone down to one model. Almost finished them off there. That was pretty damn close. Pretty damn close. I guess he wasn't paying attention, much like I wasn't. VP lead here for Zebragel. For those of you who want some more info on the Elite League, check out the links in the old description. Sluggers are going to finish off the Termagants. Yes, they are. Good passage of play there for Zebragel. Really turned it around. Came out swinging. Caught some Hormagaunts napping and caught those Termagants as well. Those of you, I do get some messages asking how I choose these Elite League matches. Basically, I look at all of them. I go through the log, which you can do at dawnofwar.info. All of the games highlighted red are league games. And whenever there's one of a decent length, I grab it and cast it. Obviously, I'm kind of behind since I'm doing them in chronological order, but I'll get to them. I will get to them. 1-to-1 cap here. Some Daka on gens. Raveners do have some backup, but they're not forcing close combat here. I guess they're waiting to use the Burrow Strike on the looters, are they? Nope. They used it right in front of the looters. That was a misplay from, yeah, you gotta say. Hormagaunts do have their adrenal glands, so if they can get in on any of those ranged orcs, they will munch them down pretty damn quickly. There's a Crippling Poison. I was waiting for it. Warboss uses his Ardboys Global to give these guys 25% damage resistance. And wow, it lets them get in on the Raveners. Raveners are slow to move there. And they drop a model. Look how well they can tank with the Ardboys up. Still got 3 models, these guys. Zebragel is floating in tier 1. Could be going tier 2 right now, getting a Death Dread up and causing havoc. There's the Burrow Strike again. We'll hit it this time on the looters and force them to retreat, in fact. Won the game with attrition there. Was some good play by Zebragel though. Bashed at least one generator. Did some damage to the other things. And killed a Ravener. Tier 2 all around. EA went slightly behind Zebragel. Zebragel could have gone earlier and got something up a little bit sooner. Got lots of options, of course. War Truck, Weird Boy, and a Death Dread could also do some serious hurt to Ye. I love seeing the Weird Boy around. I love seeing the sub-commanders do their thing. Sluggers have their Nobleader queued up. Oh no, and removed. He's changed his plans. We don't have any shooter knobs, which does increase the damage of the entire squad once they hit tier 2, I believe. That is still a thing. They get like a 15% damage bonus. So what has he queued up here? Zebragel. Obviously something. It is a Death Dread. It's going to be a pain in the arse for Ye. The Raven Alpha can get a anti-vehicle weapon with the Corrosive Devourer. Well, it has an anti-vehicle ability anyway. He's now got double Raveners, and there's the Synapse Aura for damage. Going to need that Venom Brew to get the ranged Synapse, and of course, for some anti-vehicle too. Painful firefight for the Shooter Boys. It's going to be an inefficient trade for those Shooter Boys if they're facing double Raveners buffed. And the Raven Alpha itself. And here comes the Venom Brood. That's going to be some serious range firepower there. Needs to Burrow Strike and needs to do it intelligently. There's one. Looters need to be tied up though. They're going to set up right in the face of those Raveners. And that was Catalyst. You see Catalyst there on those Hormagaunts. That increases their damage by 100%. But does cause them to slowly lose health. Half of their health, I believe, they slowly lose. As a global ability of the Ravener can be used to devastating effect on things like Zone Thropes and Gene Stealers. Or Hormagaunts, especially if you can catch things on retreat. But misjudged there. The Burrow Strike was good, but he didn't follow it up by tying up the looters. I think he kind of lost sight of his Hormagaunts. And now has a Death Dread to deal with. Burners and bits on the way, more health. And some burners for you. 300 more health too. Still has the ranged firepower going though. Losing the Hormagaunts is a blow, because they could get in, tie up looters and tie up shooter boys. Let's see what kind of damage can be put on this Death Dread there. Didn't seem to get any shots off. Didn't seem to be targeting the Death Dread, which was very strange. Venom Brood can't really damage anything else on the field because they don't have the accuracy to hit these smaller infantry targets. Here we see the Corrosive Devourer. What is it called again? Corrosive Shots, that's it. 250% damage to vehicles when it's active, which is pretty damn effective, as it turns out. Venom Brood didn't actually drop a model there. Might be able to get down this Death Dread immediately. It's going to be very close. Down it goes. You only get 35 red for a Death Dread, really? That is not a lot. 423 to 279 Zebragel with the double cap, but dropping the Death Dread pretty easily there. Meanwhile, though, capped the power, but then drops some shooters, I believe that was. So the Death Dread is certainly a distraction. That's a big stomp from the war boss. Cyborg implants. Perhaps slightly surprising to see, because there's no Hormagaunts on the field. But trying to get in on these guys and stomping them will be pretty useful. And the boss pole. We've got some more shooter boys for Zebragel. Never enough DACA. 423 to 227 on the VPs. And still with that double cap. Yay, getting a natural back and also going straight for the contested as you'd expect. Might even have a look at the power with this Ravener Brood and the Ravener Alpha himself. Level 3, this guy. Goes for the decap on the wreck point rather than bashing power quicker. Not sure he's going to be able to do anything, this guy. There's that DACA, and that guy's out of cover. I mean, that's a lot of damage. That was like, what, 1 or 2 seconds of those shooter boys firing and lost a quarter of his health. And there's this. Sluggers with their Nobby that are a big threat. If they can flank in on the Venom Brood, I think that's what he needs to try and set up. He needs to look for that. They will tear them apart, pretty much. Did a good job getting out and capping. Didn't get the central power, though. Looter boys are still vital. Not the easiest to approach at the top of the map here. Especially when these Raveners are very low. Doesn't want to Burrow Strike those guys if it can be helped. Sluggers are out of this fight, though. There is the Burrow Strike. Again, does not use them in melee combat after they get in there, but is able to force off the shooter boys. Really wants to utilize their range damage, I guess. Warboss is not happy. Eats a crippling poison, but that is the only Termagant Brood on the field. Now a Tyrant Guard hitting the field here. Slow moving, but packs a punch. Smack. Like that. Kills a Warboss instantly. Got a bit of XP too. Almost 100 heavy melee DPS this guy with some splash. But is very reliant on being close by to Synapse, as you can see. Moves a hell of a lot faster when it's around. Otherwise it's pretty much a sitting duck. It's got super heavy infantry armor, so plasma and power weapons do a great job against it. Orcs don't really have access to plasma weapons though. Stick bombers on the way. And a Warrior Brood for Yay. Not going tier 3 anytime soon, the Tyranid player. Here is the Warrior Brood. What are they going to go for here? Straight into Adrenal Glands. Increases their health by, I believe it's 50%. And gives them some heavy melee damage. But I think the Sluggers beat them down pretty handily. Especially if they're level 2. Tyrant Guard charges in as a pretty good charge. Stun Bomb do go off from the Stick Bombers, and here comes the War Boss. Who's he chosen to bash? Stick Bombs go in. Shooter Boy's getting very low, and here comes some Stick Bomber melee. Big stomp. Hits pretty damn well in the Tyranid backline. Yay, very slow to respond with those guys to try and get them out or split them. Not easy to do, of course. Tyrant Guard's having some fun. Takes out the looters. Good engagement for Yay, I think. Warrior Brood now in there. What are they up to? What are they up to? Here we go. That awesome passive leap. And a Turret Guard is there to get some hits too. Full power bash. Well, I guess they traded power. And killed looters. I think that was a decent fight for Ye. Yeah, what does Zebragel do about this Turret Guard? You can't stun it with a weird boy. The Daka isn't that great against it because it's super heavy infantry, so has resistance. Pretty good resistance against piercing weapons. Sluggers don't really want to fight it in melee. Nor does the war boss, really. I guess looters with a beamy. Just try and wear it down with everything you've got and get some tier 3 stuff. Here is the tier 3 for Zebragel. Has tons of red too. Whatever, 600 Gene Stealer Brood on the way for Ye. That is a hell of a lot of fun. Maybe expecting a Nob squad. Gene Stealers will fight him pretty good. I mean, who wins depends on levels and what kind of support they have and that kind of thing. But it's a pretty even fight when the Gene Stealers have melee synapse because they get that massive melee skill and they just constantly do special attacks on the Nobs and knock them all over the place. 327, 187 is a big if though. Because the Nobs, of course, would go straight for the melee synapse warrior brood and get them out of there. There's use your choppers, which was reduced in cost in 2.8 on the sluggers there, and Odd Boys. Turret Guard is taking a hell of a lot of damage from those buffed up sluggers there. That was a pretty good fight for those guys. Might have been better off going for the Warrior Brood though, because they would have done damage to the Turret Guard as they blew up and died. Here's the Gene Stealer Brood. Start off as a power melee squad. Just absolutely fearsome. Have this awesome Adrenal Rush ability which increases their speed and damage and makes them regain health for every attack. Very nearly taking out those stick bombers. War boss getting knocked over. Not sure what the cooldown is on that little jump you see there. I guess it's like 15 seconds or so. Gene Stealer's there infiltrating as they go wide. I'm not sure why they didn't engage the war boss. He used his stomp, right? Would have gone in. Try to eat the massive alien orc fella. Zebragel is not that far off getting knobs. You need 500, 100 I think. But doesn't have power really. I mean, 2 unnoded. Giving him plus 20 I suppose. Yeah, because you start with plus 10. Turret Guard's done really well for Ye. Zebragel struggled to deal with him. I mean, Sluggers getting in there, buffed up. We're doing a good job, but with everything else there, couldn't quite stay in the fight long enough. Level 3 War Boss. What do we got on this Ravener now? Level 4. It's a nasty damage buff to have. Gene Stealer's getting in. There's the big stomp. Certainly holds them up, but they'll get up and start chomping on stuff soon. Stick bombs not really doing a whole lot. Warrior Brood off the field though. But that's a hell of a lot of Tyranids to deal with. That's a hell of a lot of Tyranids to deal with. Weird Boy would do pretty well for Zebragel. He's gone for a tank. The looted tank is on the field right now. We still have a Venom Brood and we still have the Corrosive Claws. Corrosive Devourer, sorry. And Turret Guard does heavy melee damage. So, it's going to be under threat. Gene Stealers cannot get their Rending Claws in Tier 2 anymore, I think. They need Tier 3 now. Was briefly, well not briefly, in the last version it was a Tier 2 upgrade. But now that you have the Thorax Swarm Warriors and stuff, it wasn't seen as necessary for being in Tier 2. Anti-everything damage. We've got a zone for up and away now for Ye. Serve as a distraction if nothing else. Health regen's always welcome. Bursts of damage on the blob of shooter boys always welcome. And pressure of course on the stick bombers from long range. Here is the tank. These days it needs the reinforced plating to be able to use the big boom shot thing. I really was expecting knobs. Yeah, he's going to engage it. Tank got a really good shot on those blobbed up Raveners. And there's some stick bombs. Zone throat with the first shot here. Oh, it's the focus warp blast on the looted tank. Shooter Boy's barely getting out. But once he gets in, once Ye gets in there, what is Zebragel going to do? The tank just will not do enough DPS to deal with everything. Shooter Boys just aren't doing enough damage to hang with these synapsed up Tyranids now, it feels like. Trading very inefficiently, which just puts more pressure on Zebragel's requisition to reinforce them all the time. Just trying to hold the map with the sluggers rather than engage with them. And they need to try and repair that tank, of course. Synapse towers galore in the middle of tunnels, everything going on. And double zone throats. Zebragel might be able to pull this back with a nuke, but as it stands, Ye seems to be handling the engagement pretty well so far. I mean, you can say a weird boy would be great, knobs would be great, but he doesn't have the resources to get them. That was a pretty good stick bomb throw. 2 models each on those guys. There's the rocks. Didn't really set it up with anything. Could have tried to use the stick bombers to do so, but still could have retreated out of it. Did it kill one of the Raveners? I think it killed one of the Ravener broods. Certainly only has one now. So I mean, it did something. Got them off the field as well. Can cap now. VP is very, very even. Stick bombers have got a fair chunk of XP. They have done work. Are you going to shoot these towers? What is up? What is going on here? There we go. Oh, he's getting rid of the tunnels first. But yeah, we want to get rid of these things too. Free XP and red. There we go. Leveling up the stick bombers. Ye is back in. Everything's showing up to the party. And there's a Tyrant Guard though. Oh, there is. All the capillary towers are down. Oh, this one's still back here. 2-1 for Zebragel. Another good stick bomb throw. Can Ye approach? Not sure what he's waiting for here. The stick bomb throw has gone in. There's a stun bomb throw. And hit it pretty damn good. Maybe that's what he was waiting for. A couple of Gene Stealers got in. And seemed to do a big chunk of damage to the stick bombers, although there was some range fire coming in as well, I think. And here we go. This could be a pivotal fight here. Warboss, without a weapon upgrade at this point, not really having a massive impact in the fights. Once his big stomp goes, he's not doing a huge amount. The tank went down, and in fact, there is the concede from Zebragel. The tank was lost. A strange choice for me, getting a tank up because of the Venom Brood already being on the field and the Corrosive Devourer. And when double Zone Throats hit with the Focus Warp Blast, it's not going to last long, is it? Fought it well though. Warboss started off pretty strongly with his stomps and his mixing it up. But yeah, couldn't deal with Gene Stealers, that's for sure. Did they get away? Barely got away. Somehow have 3 models here. Well, there you have it, guys. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you in the next one. Hey people, Indrid here, back with some Elite League. This is Calderis Desert. I've never seen this map before. And on the blue side, Witchcraft Lassia with an Apothecary, support hero that fights in melee combat by default, begins with a targeted heal and a passive health regeneration aura. Is this the Dark Angels DLC? Coloured strangely? It is. We got some red robes on these fellas. And over on the red side is good old Dark Riku with a Link to Alpha melee specialist. They're going to infiltrate and disrupt some powerful offense and a little bit of support too. What is going on here then? We've got natural VPs, I guess, not supernatural VPs on the east and west, and a contested in the mid. Some natural powers and some not so natural powers towards the center here. Tactical Marines will grab this. Apothecary is close by, as you'd expect, to throw out that heal if needed. And it might be needed because Hormagaunts are... Oh, they're going after the Apothecary, are they? Nope. They're going to run into some Marines. Now, with Apothecary support, assuming he heals, they will beat Hormagaunts. But can he get here before they drop a model? There it is. These Hormagaunts need to pull out now. But they're not doing so. Backs them off way too late. You saw that flesh hook there. Didn't really work on the Apothecary because it was in the middle of a special attack animation. So it seemed to barely do any damage and certainly didn't knock him over. So misplay at the start from Dark Riku. Losing Hormagaunts very early on. And here's some more Tactical Marines for Witchcraft Lassia. Those guys did drop a model, right? Yeah, they did. I assume this thing is a shot blocker, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's not. I can see through there. We've got a busted up garrison. This is, I think, not a garrison. A water pump. There's another garrison over here. I think there's some in the walls. Yep, some over here. We'll see how it plays out. Seems to be pretty open. Decent map for tanks, I think. And here's the double Tactical Marines alongside the Apothecary. Good luck approaching this. Dark Riku does have a Warrior Brood up. Could get the Barb Strangler and then get Hormagaunts back on the field to give them a chance to run in without tons of bolt guns shooting them in the face. This map, I believe, was made by Adilla, who of course organised the Elite League. Added in 2.8. You'd think after 9 years or whatever it's been. Dawn of War 2 is 09. It's been 9 years of fighting over Caldarius, fellas. I mean, sort it out. Termagants getting beaten up by Tactical Marines, and here's that Lictor Alpha not really able to do much. Heal goes off, and customized Stormbolter in play from the Apothecary to full auto the face of that Lictor Alpha back. Shotgun blast. Warrior Brood did a lot of damage to those Marines, but couldn't get a model off them so far. The Adeptus Astartes are dealing with the Tyranid threat. Termagants trying to take cover as much as they can. There's a lot of them though. Doing some decent damage to the scouts. Are you going to force... Yep. We got some scout kicks going on. Surely the scouts lose that engagement over there. Marines get in... Oh, not quite getting the cap actually. Hormagaunts running after him. And Adrenal Glands are on the way. Some replaced Hormagaunts then. And Warrior Brood are staying in melee, at least for now. They do have power melee damage. So as you saw earlier in that brief fight, they do a lot of damage to Marines. I think they have like 18 DPS per model. Flesh Hook and some melee attacks on Retreat, almost finishing off the Apothecary there. That was pretty close. Pretty close. Just another second of those close combat attacks hitting on Retreat. Would have gone down. Lictor Alpha infiltrates. Hormagaunts scuttling back to base. The Warrior Brood are, of course, a Synapse creature, so they will help out the Termagants and the Hormagaunts with some much needed damage resistance and a little bit of suppression resistance too. I believe it's like 20% damage resistance, so not a small amount. Synapse is very important to Tyranids. Gonna see a Flesh Hook here, I guess. Oh, maybe not. Doesn't have the energy anymore, I don't think. 426 to 500, 1-to-1 cap. And the Marines should be okay. Might drop a model. Look at the amount of blood that comes out of them with those attacks. Termagants getting picked off, and the cap is made 426 to 500 early on. Riku has recovered from the early Hormagaunt loss, as you'd expect. Needs to get capping. Oh, here we go. Scouts being annoying and decapping things, I guess. Grabbing this southeastern wreck point. We also have a northwestern one. There's a 2-to-1. Flesh Hook actually lands and pulls back that time. I mean, look at the danger it puts the apothecary in. That's crazy. Assault squad on the field now. And there's the jump immediately. Disrupting the warriors and getting stuck into melee. Warriors cannot stay in this fight for long here. Can they get a model off them? Not quite. Oh, they can. The bolt pistol's doing the work. 417 to 499. What are you fellas shooting at? The Lictor Alpha, I guess. Some more generators coming up. Crippling poison is going to be very important now to stop those assault marines just bullying all these Tyranid creatures in tier 1. Scouts getting a sergeant. Could see a cheeky grenade. There it is. Hit pretty well. Hit pretty well. A bunch of those Hormagaunts did not get back up again. Scouts got down to a single model. Just the sergeant getting away. Can the assault marines get on those fellas? Not quite. But these guys are going to get jumped, you would think. Maybe? Oh, they don't have the energy to jump. 415, 499. Dark Record with a single cap. Gets tier 2 going too. Crippling poison. But they're going to stay on those termagants. Here we see Lassia backing off with the double marines. Flash hook and then jumping in. The Hormagaunts were here. That would have been a dead apothecary. It is a dead apothecary anyway. 399 to 499. Riku has played it well. Lassie has been very keen to keep all of the units together, which has been great in the fights for the most part, but not so great for their capping potential. Scouts have pretty much been doing all of it. There's that full auto, getting a Lictor Alpha out of there, getting a Warrior Brood out of there too. We always see some plasma guns. Double plasma guns with Kraken bolts, especially if you have combat stims, is a very dead Warrior Brood very quickly, I would think. Here comes the Tyrant Guard. Great tool to use against enemy assault squad. Will very happily stand and fight the assault squad. So yeah, really might see some plasma guns then. Termagants very bravely capping for the hive mind. You can do it, fellas. You can't. You cannot do it. Hormagaunts though staying busy. Are you going to power bash Lassia? These players might not be very familiar with this map. Might be the first time they're playing it, you never know. Did not go after the power there. I was expecting a little push. Just some bolt gunfire on these generators. Here's the Tyrant Guard. This is going to be a very nasty surprise for Lassia. Now has obviously seen it. Those tactical marines pretty far forward. And now, good job. Getting a Warrior Brood out of there pretty quickly. Purification Rites helping out, of course. You saw them get knocked over and take some damage when that heal went off. But now what are you going to do against this fella? What are you going to do? Ignore it and bash power? Yeah, why not? And why not? Going to chase down this apothecary. As you can see, doing chunk of damage per hit. It does attack relatively fast as well, the Tyrant Guard. I mean, looking at it, you think they're going to be big, slow attacks. Much like the Hive Tyrant. You look at that thing, you think he's going to attack slowly, but it actually throws out those melee attacks pretty damn fast. Smack. Gets down one of the assault squad. Tier 2 for Lassia. That's a pretty late tier 2. Lots of ways, of course, though, to deal with the Tyrant Guard once they get there. Scouts are still alive somewhere. There they are. Level 2, reinforcing back at base. Lost the fight against some Termagants, I guess. Who got a decap, but couldn't quite stay in play against the Tactical Marines. Who will cap nice and fast over there. Tyrant Guard bashing power. I haven't really seen Riku on this side of the map very much. Just like for capping. 371 446 is a no cap game, as you can see. Lassia spotting the Warrior Brood nice and early. Maybe could have finished that cap there. And then maybe took a few hits on retreat as he got away, but I guess it wasn't worth it. Wasn't even worth taking those few hits for Lassia. Engaging for maximum range here. Heal goes off. Kraken bolts loaded in for some more damage against heavy infantry. That is a hell of a lot of damage. That was a hell of a lot of damage for those guys. They do have their adrenal glands. 50% more health, more melee skill, all that good stuff, and they get some heavy melee damage. Razorback on the way now for Lassia. Seems like a pretty damn good map for it. Doesn't seem to be basically any potential pathing issues that I can see. But this is Dawn of War 2. The Dawn of Pathing 2. Apothecary capping mid. Victor Alpha on the prowl. Scouts nowhere to be seen in order to spot this fella. Oh, there they are. Razorback does have a twin-linked heavy bolter on top, allows you to reinforce and transport infantry, and a plasma gun is in play. These things are nasty. 2 of them, in fact. Warrior Brood, watch the hell out. I want to see this. I want to see these 2 plasma guns come to bear on that thing. Oh, those guys are capping. 3, 2, 5, 4, 4, 6. Dark Riku is in tier 3, gets a Venom Brood up to fight the Razorback. Yeah, Lassie is kind of struggling to consistently get another VP going. It's usually just the scouts kind of heading over there, capping it, running away, which isn't really lasting. Lictor Alpha seen off by an assault squad though. 3, 2, 5, 4, 4, 6. Now going after power maybe. Riku trying to use this shot blocker as much as possible to force an awkward engagement for Lassia, who backs away. She's not falling for that. Could come from more head on and get a better view of things. Riku is halfway through going tier 3 right now. Got the Venom Brood up and ready to roll. Yep, Lassia came around to approach from a more head-on angle, which was favourable here. Down goes the capillary tower, and Riku's backing away. Spotted those scary plasma guns, I guess. Bad news for the Warrior Brood and the Venom Brood. And the Tyrant Guard, of course. It's not going to be easy to shut them down. Supported by a Razorback and an Apothecary. Here we go. There's the jump. Razorback should be safe. Those plasma guns are doing some work against the Warrior Brood here. Looks like one of the squads is shooting at the Warrior Brood, the other one was shooting at the Tyrant Guard, and they can both maybe focus on the Tyrant Guard here. No, I think they're shooting on the Venom Brood, in fact. It's a well-managed fight by Lassia so far. Tyrant Guard, I don't think is going to make it out here. It's gone into shield wall, which will save it. Maybe. Might save it. It's pretty close to base, and they don't have any anti-vehicle weapons. Once they go into the shield wall mode, it recovers health and gets vehicle armor. So the plasma guns all of a sudden not quite as useful. And a full power bash, I think. Where's the Lictor at? Capping. Razorback's having a word with its heavy bolter. Venom Brood trying to go after it, put some pressure on it. Did get pretty low there. But there's that Synapse backlash, and look at the damage from those plasma guns. Just good luck with that. Just got blown away there. 325, 380 on the VPs. Bad couple of fights for Dark Riku. Chasing down some Hormagaunts here. Might be able to get his Razorback done. And does. Man, Venom Brood are pretty good, I think. Venom Brood are pretty good. They are seen as, I think, a little bit kind of weak in terms of dedicated anti-vehicle by some players. But I think they do a pretty good job when they hit the field. Especially being able to fire on the move like that. They should get away okay. Even if those guys force close combat, which I don't even bother to do. Grenade. Uh-oh. I thought they were going to grade themselves then. They actually did kill one of the Hormagaunts though. Tier 3 for Dark Ritual. How far off a Carnifex? Like 20 power or so. Tyrant Guard is still healing up in Shield Wall. It's an ability that you need to manually stop happening. Doesn't automatically stop when it's healed up or anything. Capillary Tower to support the Termagants. And of course the Tyrant Guard himself, who is very, very slow when out of Synapse, so the Capillary Tower helps out with that. More jump in. There's a Flesh Rip code. Might be able to kill this model here. Maybe. Yes. Lictor Alpha with no war gear whatsoever. And no levels. He's been capping a lot, this fella. 325, 339. A couple of good Flesh Rips though have gone in. Do we have Sergeants for both of the Marines? No, only one of them. There's Tier 3 for Lassia now. Carnifex is on the way. Barb Strangler or Thornback. What's it going to be? Might go for Thornback here. Barb Strangler is usually my go-to. Oh, down goes Elictor Alpha. But the Assault Squad might be able to get in and tie him up and use Melter Bombs, and then double missile launchers could be nasty. It's a big if though. Barb Strangler against those double tactical marines would be pretty tasty. Nothing yet, which means the Carnifex is the just a big melee thing. Oh, it's going for Barb Strangler, okay. Tyrant Guard's done so well to be alive still. Those plasma guns are mental. There's a jump. It's a pretty good one. Angels of Death goes up. 50% less damage for the Apothecary's infantry and knockback immunity. But even with the damage reduction, look at the damage going in from the Barb Strangler. Ouch, that is so painful. Lassia trying to keep her Marines separated. And did a decent job, but those guys got wrecked. Grenade, dodged. Carnifex is a game changer, as it often is. Lassia needs to respond. Could get missile launchers, could get the Melter Bomb on the Assault Squad. Or could just get a Devastator Las Cannon going. Nothing yet. Saving for a tank, maybe. Victor Alpha is back on his feet and getting some capping going. We're going to see, maybe, a triple cap here. The Lictor is on this. It's going to be a double at least. Lassia needs to defend the west. Looks like she is splitting, knowing that the Assault Squad could deal with any Termagants over here or any Venom Brew. Sends them mid. Where are the scouts at? They need to go east, and they have gone east. Here's a Spore Mine group. Brood? Whatever you call them. Birthed out by the Carnifex, I guess. Are you going to detonate? What are you up to? They're just watching the scouts over there. Do they even have eyes? Carnifex is looking very, very dangerous. And here comes a Predator tank for Lassia. Las Cannon you'd expect should shoot down that Carnifex quicker. Look at that. Hormogots might be able to get in. Wow. Very surprised Lassia let them take that second hit. That was a very calculated risk. Very calculated. Almost didn't make it out of there. Got so low with that second shot and the Hormogots are right on them. There's that jump. Didn't they have a sergeant, these fellas? I think they did. 300 to 258. 2-to-1 cap now for Lassia. And tank hits the field. And here's a Melter Bomb. Carnifex will be under threat soon. What are you fellas up to? Destroying a Capillary Tower, I think. Tyrant Guard still going. Hasn't leveled somehow. Lictor Alpha is level 2. No war gear on that fella still. That Barb Strangler is pain. Oh, wow. So lucky to get away with 2 models there, those Assault Squad fellas. The tank might be able to chase this Carnifex back. Needs some help. Where's the Venom Brood? Here they are. That is pretty dicey though. Las Cannon in play. Wow. Couple more shots. That kind of fix would have gone down, but could not stick around for those. The Predator tank. Kind of fix, of course, cannot be repaired. It will slowly regenerate health, but you can send it back to base to heal up faster. 300 to 202. It's a no cap game. Some repairs from the scouts, maybe, maybe not. Dark Ricker has tons of resources here. Saving for a Swarm Lord, I guess. Nope. Second Carnifex on the way. Could get double Barb Stranglers, which would be super fun to see, but we might see something else to help deal with the tank. Double Barb Strangler Carnifexes shooting at Marines is a sight to behold. Tank is being repaired very slowly. This should be okay for the next fight, I think. And we got some Marines capping. 2-1 for Lassia. It's going to be, I think. Oh, but look at this. Victor Alpha's being annoying, decapping stuff. Still no walk here. Could use Deadly Jump to like get in on the Marines. If that's even needed with the Barb Strangler Carnifex around. Doing a good job capping, that's for sure. Now runs away. Taking Lasganis to the face, you can see why he's running. Second Carnifex is up. Unfortunately, in Relic's Infinite Wisdom, they did not give me the ability to select it from the roster down here. 6 units is all you get access to. And he's gone for the Venom Cannon. The anti-vehicle option to fight this tank. And maybe get a good Bioplasma hit on something else. Not a good fight for the Assault Squad. On leveled up Hormagaunts that have Adrenal Glands. Venom Brood, are they going to chase? Maybe. 262 to 174. They're way too far away now. Lictor Alpha's going to cap mid, I think. Decent jump in there from the Assault Squad. And that Plasma Gun again doing some serious work to the Venom Brood. Termagants might go down. Yeah, lost some Termagants there. Marines capping. Is this Terminators? It is Terminators. Well. A very staggered teleport there. That one didn't even bother to teleport. Flesh Hook finishes off the scouts. That must have been very satisfying for all the annoying decapping they've been doing. 239 to 162. It's a dead Carnifex right here. They can't save it. And that was the Barb Strangler one. That is a massive blow to Dark Recruit. This tank has done its job, and now with Terminators around, a big, tough capping unit, which is not actually capping right now. 224 to 162. There we go, there's the cap. No scouts though, we might see one of the Tactical Marines splitting off to grab some stuff. It's the Terminators in fact that are splitting off. Nope, they're going to shoot some stuff. So Terminators are now a medium unit, not a large unit. Seems like the Venom Cannon's doing a decent job hitting them though. Oh, by the way, they've got Power Fists, Hormagaunts. They maybe not want to do that. There's a jump. Riku cannot hold though. There's a Melter Bomb, and this might be the second Carnifex going down here. Terminators trying to get into range to use their fists. That's a Tron of Formation. But that tank needs to stay in the middle. And does so. Carnifex lives. Maybe. This is going to be pretty close. Pretty close. The tank barely getting away itself. The Carnifex does live here. Is in Eurothroat. We'll see if it's enough. It might just get jumped to the next fight. There's that Paroxysm. Reduces speed and does a bunch of good damage to stuff like Terminators and other Marines. Can't believe this Tyrant Guard is still around. It's the second thing on Dark Riku's roster right now. Carnifex healing up nice and fast. Where is that Lictor on capping duty? And it is a 2-to-1 for Riku. Every time these big fights are going on, and Lassia is generally doing quite well. Riku's out there capping stuff. Lassia needs to watch out for that. We have spawn mines over here still. Can't do a whole lot of Terminators. Just going to be shot down here, I think. 183, 148. Going to be pretty close by the time Lassia gets the 2-to-1 back. If they even do, because here comes a Neurothrope and a Tyrant Guard and some Venom Brood. They should be able to finish that cap right. They can just teleport away afterwards, so they'll stay in for longer than perhaps they would otherwise. There's that Paroxysm. A little bit late, I guess it was still on cooldown. Does get a model off them, that's pretty good. And they're not teleporting away these Terminators, they're just waiting for backup now. That plasma guns, those plasma guns doing some work on the Venom Brood as you saw. Almost got 2 models off those guys. Predator tank gets a shot. And another. This might be the end of the valiant Tyrant Guard. Goes into shield wall, which is not going to save it from a las cannon. Riku running past the assault squad. An orbital coming in. Catching a Neurothrope pretty damn well. Is it going to kill it? It's a triple cap anyway. Doesn't kill it, but does throw it into the other beam, which does. And that should be GG. The loss of that first Carnifex was key, but Lassia did so well, played it so defensively with the double tacks. Slowly grew into the aggression, especially when the tank came out. Started to dictate the fights after that. Riku is not giving up though. Tyrant Guard's going to go down next shot. Lictor maybe could have done more. No war gear on this guy. Didn't do a lot in the fights. And you'd expect him to. You really would expect him to. Terrify could have been used to get this assault squad off the field immediately. Could have done some damage and stuff. Things it could have done. But of course, purchasing the war gear could have delayed that first Carnifex, which did so much work for Riku. Maybe when that first Carnifex came up, could have been a bit more aggressive coming after this power and shutting down Lassia's tech a little bit. It's tough though, it's tough. Here's a tier 3 Lictor who has heavy melee damage. Basically better than a Lictor Alpha in terms of straight up combat ability, I think. Heavy melee damage, limitless infiltration as well. Also gets the leap and the flesh hook, of course. 167 to 31. Riku is not giving in. And might even get a 2-to-1, although not a very long one. Down goes the tank. Down goes the tank. Have I spoken too soon? As I often do. See all that inspiration going off from the Terminators, but there's nothing here to inspire. There's Angels of Death from the Apothecary's global bot. I always forget how much red that is. It's pretty expensive though. I think it's like 200 maybe even. Lictor Alpha gets the cap. There's a single. And with the tank down, doesn't have a super efficient way to deal with the Carnifex Lassia. And now Terminator is getting punched. But I say punched, it's a Carnifex. They're like 18-foot claws it's got. Gonna see the Melter Bomb thrown out, are we? Level 4 Assault Squad. Tearing through the Hormagaunts. Down they go. That's a lot of damage on your Terminator. Double cap though for Lassia might be enough. What is this? The tier 3 Lictor just killed some Marines, I think. But it is too late for Riku. Double cap at the end there. That's pretty damn close. I mean, if Riku got the caps there, and that Carnifex lived, might have been in for an even closer finish. We had a level 7 Apothecary, massive impact in the fights with the heal and the Purification Rites and that Bolt Gun, or Storm Bolter. Maybe that's why the Lictor Alpha didn't get involved in the fights too much, because of that customized Storm Bolter, potentially shut him down every time. I think it still would have been maybe worth it. But hey, this is what we got. Lassia takes it. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.